Hey guys, Hopeless Hal here, coming at you with another video. This time we're starting on an unusual page. This is my page, my YouTube channel. Yeah, you can click on it just by clicking on my name or below the video. Should be down here somewhere. Anyways, so why are we here? Well, as you know, my channel name is Hopeless Hallow. And Hallow's not a word you usually use all that often. And that's because, as probably a few of you know, Hallow's actually a spell. And D&D Beyond actually provides it for free, thankfully. So what is this spell? This spell is Hallow, the 5th level evocation spell. Don't really know why they put a large picture of the evocation symbol here. It's only the evocation, or the illusion, or blah blah blah. But you could just easily read it right here. But anyways, so its casting time is 24 hours. Whew! Its range and slash area is a range of touch, so you must touch the area, and 60 feet. And it looks like a sphere right there. The components is verbal, somatic, and material. Duration until spelled kind of helps make up for the 24 hours thing. Evocation school. Its saving throw is charisma. Quite an interesting saving throw, to be sure. And it has various things, but it does not do any damage. It's merely a buff, control. There's more categories down here. Control, buff, debuff, and environment. Also, you can see the classes that you use for. Cleric and the Fiend. The Fiend isn't a class, it's a subclass for the Warlock. So, what does the spell do? You touch a point and infuse an area around it with holy or unholy power. This area can have a radius up to 60 feet or 120 feet diameter, and the spell fails if the radius includes an area already under the effect of a Hallow spell. The affected area is subject to the following effects. First, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead can't enter the area, nor can such creatures charm, frighten, or possess creatures within it. Any creature charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature is no longer charmed, frightened, or possessed upon entering the area. And, of course, you could exclude one or more of these various different types, such as celestials, elementals, faes, fiends, or undead, when you when you cast the spell. Secondly, you can bind an extra effect to the area, thankfully, because, wow, that is not a very good effect for a 5th level spell. Choose the effect from the following list, or choose an effect offered by the GM. That is very important right here. Or choose an effect offered by the GM. We'll get to why later. Some of these effects apply to creatures in the area. You could designate whether the effects applies to all creatures that follow a specific deity or leader, or creatures of specific sorts, such as orcs or trolls. When a creature that would be affected enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there, it can make a charisma saving throw. On a success, the creature ignores the extra effect until it leaves the area. And so, what are some of the things you could choose? Well, first one's courage. Affected creatures can't be frightened while in the area. Darkness. Darkness fills the area. Normal light as well as magical light created by spells of lower level than the slot you use to cast this spell can't illuminate the area. A bit wordy for saying, magical darkness that dark vision can't see through. Next up after that is daylight. Basically the reverse. Energy protection. Can give you resistance against one type except for bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. Energy vulnerability. It's the exact same thing except it gives vulnerability to them. Everlasting rest. Dead bodies can't be turned into undead while in here. Extra dimensional interference. Effective creatures can't move or travel using teleportation or by extra-dimensional/interplanar means. Fear. Affected creatures are frightened while in the area. Silence. No sound can emanate from within the area. No sound can reach into it. So basically a very large silent spell. Tongues. Affected creatures can communicate with any other creature in the area, even if they don't share a common language. Herbs, oils, and incense worth at least 1,000 GP, which the spell consumes. That down there is the material cost, which could be quite hefty for a spell that's pretty much stationary. So, why am I reviewing this? Besides the fact that it's kind of like my branding. Well, because I have suggestions and telling people why they should take this spell more often. And how DMs can use it. So, it provides so for your, maybe a home base, or maybe or just if a building needs protection against these things, then that's great. And it lasts until dispelled, so you could just set something up for someone, get paid, and get out of there. You could also apply some of these secondary effects, like effective creatures can't be frightened, not particularly useful. Darkness, not particularly useful. Daylight, maybe good in a cave. Energy protection, maybe if you somehow put it next to elemental plane of fire, fire might be a good one for that. Energy vulnerability. This just sounds like a spot for an ambush, which you are, since it's an ambush, you probably already have planned ahead of time, so the 24 hours really doesn't matter here. Everlasting rest. Put this over a graveyard. A necromancer's zombies can't get in because of its first effect, and he can't raise the dead while in there per its second effect. Really just screws over necromancers. Extra dimensional interference. When you really want to trap the big monsters, assuming they also don't have magic dispelling capabilities. Fear. This just causes panic all around, which can also be good in an ambush. Silence. No sound can emanate. Whew, wow. Sounds like spellcasters are useless here. Well, not particularly useless, but not nearly as effective as, say, the barbarian paladin fighter that is behind them currently, waiting to knock them out and don't need to be able to speak to kill people. Tongues. I mean, if you really wanted this, then actually take the spell called Tongues. But, so, what are some scenarios that you could relatively use this in? And I've got one big one for you. So, you set up an ambush, right? You set up energy vulnerability. You set it to fire. Wait for the people to come in for the ambush, and simply cast Fireball. That's it. They're dead. Cool. So, let's go back up a bit. So, you could also choose an effect offered by the GM. As this spell is usually considered underpowered or just not useful in general due to its consuming cost, its high casting time, and its mediocre abilities, here's some suggestions that you could offer to your DM just to improve this spell if you really want to take advantage of it. Energization. Affected creatures regain maximum HP when rolling their hit dice while in this area, and can remove a level of exhaustion at the end of a short rest that was completely taken in this area. This is perfect for setting it up in your home base. Just being able to quickly heal up with a short rest instead of a long rest. And the DMs don't have to really worry about them just suddenly setting it up on the battlefield and healing before the next battle, because it takes 24 hours to cast. That sounds like pretty good balancing to me. Bountiful Life. Effective creatures no longer eat, drink, or sleep while in the area, but still need to rest. Still need sleep to rest. That just sounds perfect for the DM to use. Make a tyrannical leader that never dies because he just simply doesn't need to do any of that. Honestly, an elf in there would just live for the full duration of their lifespan, completely unaffected. Honestly, you could even just add aging onto there. Why not? Just make a revamped version while I'm currently talking to you about it. Add age. Now there's some tyrannical ruler that just lives forever inside of a Halo field, and now they have to go take him down or something. Still life. Affected creatures have their strong emotions suppressed as if they were affected by a calm emotion spells. Not particularly too useful, but it's there, it's helpful. It's something your DM would probably approve unless they're like, nope, the spell's gotta be used exactly how it's written. In which case, I feel bad for you. Unending goal. Affected creatures begin following orders that were set up when the spell was cast, as if they were under the suggestion spell. This sounds really powerful, but make sure you remember that they get to save for it every turn too. So it's not as bad as you would think. It's basically a mass suggestion spell, which is a 5th level spell plus you get the first thing, but they can make the save every turn, not just if someone hits them. Impeded path. The entire area is considered difficult terrain. This one is such a simple and useful one that I am completely surprised was not included in this at all. It seems to be used as a spell to keep things out or prevent things from happening. But there should be stuff that could happen inside of it as well. So I included difficult terrain. It's something mediocre, slightly on the lower edge of power balance, just to help out. Unyielding Guardian. This one's by far the most broken one, so I'd completely understand if your DM just said no. A large spectral guardian protects the area as if a guardian of faith or a guardian spirits was cast, but it doesn't disappear until the Hallow spell is dispelled. Yeah, it's quite powerful. Don't expect to get this from every DM or any DMs. It just kind of makes sense, especially if you use the more holy effect. But if you like to use the unholy, Guardian Spirits has a nice necrotic damage version. That's pretty nice. Scenery change. The entire area looks much different than its surroundings, as if it had been as if a hallucinatory terrain spell was cast. And you're probably thinking, "Wow, that's pretty powerful," but it's hallucinatory terrain. How powerful is it really? Just think about it. Let us settle in. Set in yet? All right, cool. Next one. Colorful Trap. Yeah, I started to get lazy on these last two ones. Hypnotic Pattern spell covers the entire area. It's a hypnotic spell. It's just a saving throw. Or you get charmed. But you can make the save again every turn, so it's not like permanent charming or paralysis. Neat. Next one up. Moonlight. By far the most useless one in this list, but still usable. Moonlight. That's supposed to be one word, dum-dum. Moonlight. Shapeshifter's true forms is revealed while in this area. Neat. Actually, it's moonlight. We should also add in dim light. The entire area is covered in dim light if it wasn't already. And it only has one L. Cool. Well, neat. And those are some of my suggestions for a better Hallow spell and how to use it properly. Now, technically, it says choose an effect offered by the GM. So technically, it has to be given by the GM. But if your GM's nice and or probably sounds cool, useful, or funny, and without breaking the game, then I'm sure you could convince them to let you use one or two of these. But anyways, that's it for now. The better Hallows, and just the Hallow spell in general. And now you know what the Hallow and Hopeless Hallow actually actually means. Now, for why it's hopeless, you're going to have to wait for another video on that. That's all for now. Bye!